sing a song for women everywhere.
The EU-UN Spotlight Initiative have expressed readiness for more collaborations with the Nigerian government in the fight against gender-based violence in the country. Head Technical Unit of the EU-UN Spotlight Initiative, Erin Kenny, made the commitment while on a courtesy visit to the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. Erin Kenny said the team of Global Civil Society Reference Group were in the ministry to work out modalities for more collaborations as well as seek to address the menace of gender-based violence.
What we are here to do together is to reflect on the last 5 years, to really think critically about what has worked and what has not worked. The one thing we know works really well is when the government is the owner of this initiative, when we make sure that the engagement is authentic with our government partners. That you are the people. This is for you. This is not my initiative. This is Nigeria's initiative. But we also understand the power of an autonomous women's rights civil society who can mobilize and support those on the ground whose voices are often so unheard. And that is why we are hosting our global reference group here for the first retreat since before COVID, because we wanted them to be able to gather, but also to witness the great work of your women's rights activists on the ground, as represented by Chinwe and my sister.
Minister, Women Affairs and Social Development, Dame Pauline Talent expressed happiness for the visit and called for more support from local and international partners to utilize the federal government gender-based data situation room to provide useful information towards ending violence against women and girls.
This Interministerial Committee on Gender-Based Violence Committee is to proffer a synchronized approach to address all forms of violence against women and children in the country. The committee, as I earlier mentioned, is chaired by the Attorney General, and I also want to place on record and to commend the civil society organizations in Nigeria. We are working very well with them, and I welcome the civil society organizations on the global reference group that are here with you. Working together has yielded quite a useful results. But I have some few issues that I need to table. I realized there was a meeting in Mexico last year, a high-level meeting, but Ministry of Women Affairs was absent at that meeting. That is unacceptable, because this ministry is the ministry that coordinates all issues that affect women and children. And it must be a very, very serious operation. I pray that this does not happen again.
The high point of the event was a visit to the Situation Room, domiciled in the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, where live updates from different states of the country came in on issues relating to gender-based violence.
Data is key in every effort we are making to address gender-based violence. And so I call on all organizations, particularly the civil society organizations, to keep working with us, to use this data. We have the Situation Room. It's not just for the Ministry of Women Affairs, it's for the whole nation. And that will help us track most of the perpetrators, and it will help us make a case to the Ministry of Justice to ensure that justice is given to victims.
In Nigeria, we invest in every sector and every part of a community to ensure that everybody is mobilized in service to eradicating violence against women and girls. This includes making sure that the laws and policies are gender equitable, that institutions are taking responsibility for stepping up, that prevention, including changing social norms and behavior, is in place, that services can reach those most vulnerable to abuse, that data systems are tracking and reporting on what's happening, and very importantly, that we have a strong women's rights movement and civil society engaged in the fight and at the forefront of leading these efforts. That's part of what we're doing in Nigeria this week, is really working with civil society to understand how we can best support them to make sure their voices are driving change in Nigeria.
Emmanuel Unu, News 24.